Geek Myths, a novel about life, love, and the pursuit of sonic screwdrivers. Available in paperback and Kindle edition from Amazon.
Scanning for audio.
Hello and welcome to a Tin Dog podcast. Now, this is going to be my review of The Woman Who Fell to Earth. The whole thing's going to be here. But it's Friday. It's the day... No, it's 2 days before the new show's brought to us in the gloriousness of BBC-ness. And that's a lot of S's, and I hope my microphone can cope with that. Basically, this is kind of an apology to my family, because this weekend, every year, I'm less than fun to be around. I'm tense. I'm pacing. I'm not great. I'm snappy. I am rubbish. Right, I know in my head that Doctor Who isn't for me. It used to be mine. It did. And now I'm just a fan of a show that really belongs to everyone else. And 800 podcasts in, I should know better. Now, we've got a new Doctor. Oh, it's a woman. Yeah. And you know what? I discussed all this months ago. Basically, the reason that a lot of people kicked off about the Doctor being played by a woman is because they've now mentally, somewhere in their head, halved the chances of them ever being the Doctor. For other people, it's doubled the chances of them ever being the Doctor. It's like the people on the sidelines at a football match wearing the strip because they've bought it. That's us, the fans, hoping that one day someone will be sent off and the manager will look around and go, you in the third row, you're wearing the strip. Come on up. Yes, you might have eaten too many pies. Yes, you might not be a great actor, but you're already dressed for the part. Come on in, join us, be the Doctor. That's what it was at the core of a lot of people kicking off about there being a female Doctor, because now every female, every someone who identifies as male, every single person on Earth can be the Doctor. And all of those people in the stands who are wearing the kit already are going, oh, that's half my chance. I'll never get to be the Doctor now. Mate, you weren't going to get to be the Doctor anyway. None of us were. There's been about 15, arguably more, people who've ever been able to say they've done that. And you know what? It wasn't you. It wasn't me. But what we do get to do is enjoy the show. A show that is aimed primarily at children. Okay, are we all on the same page? But I still get jumpy. I get jumpy because I believe in my heart of hearts that the whole world is going to watch my beloved show and say to itself, it's not as good as it was. And then it'll go away again. And I know it will one day. It will go away. But not yet. So, I am nervous. But I'm always nervous before a new Doctor, before a new season. Because that's just how I am. Right, I'm going to stop recording and come back after the show. And then I'll give you some thoughts. Now, I know that on Sunday night and on Monday morning, there'll be a gigantic rush for podcasters to get their material out there. Radio Free Score are recording almost on the fly. A host of other people will be doing, well, podcasts as they can. Now, obviously, my Big Finish reviews won't suffer. They'll still be coming your way. This week's not been great for me. I've recently been made redundant. So, that might work in your favour, and I might be able to bring out podcasts just a tiny bit more regularly. So, I'll see you on the other side of this sound effect. And there you go. And that was Doctor Who. Right. Everyone who had a problem with a female Doctor, get out. That's it. That's going to be my entire comment. it's not important. What we've got is a new actor playing the part of the Doctor, and they're very good. Do you know why they're good? Because some people who know what they're doing have hired people who know what they're doing to provide us with an actor who knows what they're doing. That's it. That is basically what it comes down to. Do you get the job if you know what you're doing? Yes. Now, did some of the lines fall flat? Yes. Some of the excitement might have been delivered by a different actor in a different way, but you know what? That's an actor's job, to make some decisions and provide us with choices. This is story one. Yes, I've got a few issues, but you know what? They're niggles. They're nothing to do with the main thrust of the whole piece. Admittedly, I received a text the moment the episode had finished from my dad saying, and I quote, "You have got to be joking. What a load of rubbish." And this is from a man who actively disliked Peter Capaldi. So it's definitely not a female Doctor. My mum, now, can I just say they're both in the same house? You know, it's not like they're living thousands of miles from each other. They're still together. And my mum texted me and she just said, that was great. Now, they're in the same room watching the same programme together and have different opinions. So God help us, you know, the we. Also, my mum texted me later and said, Dad won't stop saying it was just like Predator versus Alien. This is a 70-odd-year-old man having a rant about Doctor Who. I love that man dearly. He introduced me to this. And in many respects and on many levels, he's actually a bit right. I did sit there kind of thinking the same thing. But you know what? If you're a kid, you've not seen the Predator films. You've not seen Predator 2, which I think was the one he actually meant. And, yeah. But for me, someone who'd just lost their job was looking at the background, the world that it was set in. I had an issue with the whole storyline, and for me, it was boring. Not the storyline, the issue. The issue was, why is there a building site opening in the middle of the night? Why have they got 2 massive cranes when they haven't actually built anything yet to get up that high to require the massive cranes? Also, when they said, right, we have to clear the site now. Now, there was a security guard on the site. Fair enough. Maybe there's one person there because his dad owns the company, was having to move something, but they had to clear the site wearing the high-vis jackets. Oh, health and safety gone mad, right? Trying to look official and get everybody out of there. But it was night time. Why were they still working? Perhaps it's because it's November and it was late in the day, but I don't think so, because it all takes place in the same evening, and somebody had already been on the last train. Now, perhaps it was an early last train. I can forgive that one. Then there's the storyline involving going to the factory. Then they make the sonic screwdriver. Time is ticking. You're looking at the whole storyline taking place in one night after someone has eaten a kebab and they're drunk. Now, maybe they started drinking early, but you're still looking at about sort of 11, 12 o'clock. And these people are on a building site still working. So, yeah. Health and safety gone mad for me, perhaps. But it's nice to frame and structure the whole thing. Now, you know what? I'm being pedantic about tiny little things. Is that a good thing? Is that a good sign? I think it is. It means that I've completely accepted that this is the new setup of Doctor Who and this is the way it was going. One of my things I was very nervous about was the new aspect, 1:2, right, rather than 16:9, which basically means for ordinary human beings that you've got a tiny black line at the top and a tiny black line at the bottom, making it look a bit cinematic. Yeah? Except I'd done the maths wrong. During all of the trailers, you had something that looked like CinemaScope. Well, CinemaScope's massive. It's a big thin line of action in the middle of the screen with a big black line at the top and a big black line at the bottom, because that's how things are filmed for the cinema. I'd done the maths wrong in my head. I thought New Doctor Who was going to be in CinemaScope. Alright, I'm an idiot, and I literally should know better, because these are the things I'm supposed to be good at. Clearly I'm not. And that's kind of it. So I was very, very tense about it being in CinemaScope, which it wasn't. So I've got all tense about something that actually didn't matter. Makes me a Doctor Who fan then, doesn't it? So I've got a page full of notes, I've scattered all over the point, and I've really no idea where to start. So let's just take one at random from the top of the page. A great line. Only idiots use knives. It's as if it was a poster for the Royal Armouries in Leeds in waiting to happen. Yeah, your thing is you want to say it's a Swiss Army knife, but the BBC doesn't want to encourage people to carry knives, so it has to be a Swiss Army screwdriver, which doesn't exist in the real world, and so on. Oh yeah, the screwdriver. Right. Let's forget the clearly rude nature of things, right? Which is something that my wife went, seriously, is that what it looks like now? Because she hadn't seen any of the press. And I went, yeah, we've already made all the jokes, it's fine. But it also looks rubbish. I'm sorry, right? The Sheffield steel melting things down, it's great. If you ever get the chance to visit Magnet, which is the museum built into one of the steelworks in Sheffield, definitely go and see it. It's brilliant, right? And it's well worth seeing because you get to experience all that. But this is made of badly melted down cutlery. I know there's the spoons, there's the references to other episodes, and everyone needs a teaspoon and an open mind, which is obviously what sonic screwdrivers run on, and so on, but I just don't really like it. I've got all of the other screwdrivers, but I can't see me buying this one. Actually, that's a lie. I don't own Capaldi's last one. I'd like it. I'd like a frame with them all in, but I just don't like this one. Now, there is another issue with the story, with us old fans, and it takes us back to original Doctor Who. Do you remember the days when translation wasn't a gift of the TARDIS? By the way, the TARDIS isn't here in order to be the gift of the TARDIS of the translation, which means it's the gift of the Time Lords. Yes, I know we could do a whole regenergy thing, saying that that's what's actually causing the translation. Or did the aliens learn English, which is how come they always hunt in Sheffield? Now, there's a thought. But if the Doctor and all of her friends, fam, or whatever, can experience people speaking English next time and the TARDIS isn't still around, then, well, that's a bit more of an issue, but let's not go there, because, you know, to the not-we, to the punters, that's not going to register, that's not going to be an issue. Is it? Can I just say, right, eat my salad, right? Sorry, I really am all over the place with these notes. The guy saying eat my salad and throwing it at the aliens, that is so realistic, right? However, can I just say eat my salad is a ribbon in waiting for Gallifrey. I wonder how many people are going to do that one. Also, right, Secret Pigeon Blogger is another ribbon in waiting. The thing that was written on the right-hand side on the YouTube page, that made me not look at the performance for like a good 3 minutes. The guy is giving it a heartfelt thing. He's speaking about the woman who fell to Earth, which was his grandma who fell to Earth, and of course it's the Doctor as well, with the double meaning. Very nice. And she is doing that, and he's saying, the most important woman in my life. And we're all going, oh, it's the Doctor because she's a woman now. No, it's the most important woman in his life who fell. You got it, right? It's brilliant, right? It does feel a bit Russell T, but that's fine. But all I was looking at was the Secret Pigeon Blogger. My mind was completely focused. I wanted to click on it. I wanted to know what was happening. I wanted to experience this Secret Pigeon Blogger person. It's kind of a bit wrong. Yeah, there are things which made me a bit sad. I didn't like the alien's costume. I didn't like the teeth thing. I really didn't like the onion pod. I thought that was a bit rubbish. But that's all right. If you did like this story, there is a story that's very, very, very similar, let's put it that way, to a Torchwood story with Susie in it, on audio from Big Finish, that you might just want to pick up at some point. It's very, 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 very similar to this, and it's well worth experiencing. Because it's obviously the humans taking on things. Yes, Sheffield looked great. Filming in the blink. Right, for those of you who don't know, there's daytime filming and there's nighttime filming. Fair enough. There was a lot of nighttime shooting on this film. But you've got nighttime filming, and then you've got the bit at the sunset. There's a golden time where the light quality is magnificent, where the sun is behind you or to one side, if your video cameras can take it, which they can now and they never used to be able to. And that is the time called the blink. It's blink and you miss it. It's difficult to shoot at that time because the sun is moving. It's setting. You've got to shoot everything. It's usually best, if you're doing that, to shoot multi-camera, all one side, at the same time. Do 2 or 3 takes so that every single take is the same as itself, if you see what I mean, on various other cameras. And that way, when the sun's setting, it all works. Sheffield looked so much better there than it does now. Yes, the Peak District's brilliant. Eames, lovely. All of that business is brilliant. That would make a great Doctor Who story. I have so rambled. So, the music. The first bit of Murray Gold-free experience that we've had in years. I liked it. I liked it a lot. We can discuss the theme music in a moment. But the actual music in the programme, do you know why I liked it? Because I was sat there watching a scene going, I don't think I've heard any music for ages. And then some came on. And I was thinking I wasn't being told how to feel. I wasn't being told what to emote. Clearly I was merely being encouraged, acted upon, and that was fine. So I didn't really like the alien. It did feel like, well, the vampire block things that are in the Jadoon on the Moon story. But yeah, let's take the mask off and discover that he just looked like some bloke. And the teeth business, fair enough. Now, I know there was the son of the engineer who was on the train who just wanted to get on with his life. Let's call him Mr. MacGuffin, because he was the thing that the whole story hung on. But him with the self-realization tapes, the I am important business, that made him more real, more human. And it's touches like that that'll really help the story go from strength to strength in the future. So did I enjoy it? Yes. Yes, I did. Great beginning? Yes. It's not the 11th hour, but then again, everything except the 11th hour isn't the 11th hour, so that's fine. My little rants about the building site being open in the middle of the night, you know what, so what? And that brings us rather neatly to the fact that at the beginning there was no opening music, no face coming at you, nothing like that. And then you had the end credits. You've got the middle eight. Everyone is going to love this because it's the closest version of the theme we've had since 1980. I know. This is almost... Now, admittedly, when I was watching it on the TV upstairs, the sound balance is different, and it sounded very tinny. But then I watched it on the living room TV, and that was brilliant. The sound quality is great. Because my wife turned to me when we were watching it, she went, "Oh, that's the new music, is it? Played on a tin tray." And yes, it is a bit acoustic heavy, but you know what? The thing I liked the most was the wibbliness behind the titles that you could see. It just felt like someone had the John Pertwee old opening credits on in the background. That made my little heart warm. One thing that my wife did mention that I agreed with completely was that at the end, the coming soon was just a list of apparently famous people who I'd heard of, like 3 of them. And I know people around the world will probably be going, I have no idea who these people are. But you know what? Neither did I, and I live here. So yeah, coming soon. Let's use that as just an excuse for us to have heard the middle 8. We might not get to hear that again for a while. We haven't seen the opening credits. The chances are her face is going to be up there, and that's why we didn't see it this time. So this time next week, I'll probably talk to you about episode 2 of this slightly shorter but remarkably lovely run. And by then, of course, I might even have a job. You never know. I have been applying for practically everything. So, until next time, when I'll probably be talking to you about Doctor Who. Or maybe not. Be seeing you. That was the Doctor Who Tin Dog Podcast, available on iTunes, YouTube, Twitter, RSS, Vimeo, and across the internet. Doctor Who and its associated properties are all copyright and trademark of the BBC. No infringement is intended. Why not become a supporter by visiting patreon.com/tindog. Contact the show on tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.